It's on. Here's about 8 hours and 45 minutes of solar activity in 193 angstroms. Here's another view since you were kind enough to tune in. .304 angstroms. And we see an active region rising here over the east. That's that old sunspot coming around for a third pass, folks. All right, that's pretty loud. All right. Move on to other data. Buy a bike, first of all. Second of all, fund me if possible. Thank you, donors. It is greatly appreciated. It's in the description. Also to our Patreon. Check out the .org. And here's the mission. Let's look at more data. Here's a real-time solar wind for the last day. Proton density 5.05 per cubic centimeter. And we got an elevated speed here, 571 kilometers per second. Here's the Gong 2 data. And you're going to see some activity in this region due to that sunspot making its third pass. Maybe you can't really see it on there. I know it's a weird looking thing. Let's move on to other stuff. As we ran late, and we got to keep it short. Talking about geomagnetic jerks. And this is a serious article. If you're not familiar with it, please read it. Suspicious O's covered it a couple weeks ago. Anyway, read the article, spaceweather.com. Let's look at more data on spaceweathernews.com as we try to be real time here. I apologize for the load times. We are switching out our ISP within 1 week, folks. So this stuff will all look much more smooth once we get our new ISP. Tiny bit of X-ray flux there, nothing noteworthy. You see some pretty big spikes in the magnetometer here, and that's associated with that incoming high-speed wind. A lot of protons, so you see a big dip in the upper part of the electron flux here. Much different from the previous days, and we see more minor dips. Some charging hazards have kicked up here over Central America. And the F2 layer is looking pretty normal. A little discharge on the nighttime side, but not too crazy. Oh man, I got a scrolling flux. There's the Aurora Borealis, and there's the Australis. Moving on to the next, attempting to move on. Do not take control of my computer website. Here's the electron content, should be even lower than yesterday. We've been seeing very low equatorial electron bands here. We'll let that play through and then move on promptly. You are condensed matter, and we're making this video condensed also. About the magnetosphere movies, and we see much higher pressure here. We'll let all three play through. So this one reading a surprisingly low velocity there. So a bit of a disparity between the solar wind speed and this model. Leave a comment if you have theories on that. Here's the density. And we are talking protons, protons. This data archive not yet available. We implore you, University of Michigan, make it available. And we do appreciate the models. Here's the pressure. We see a much higher pressure than yesterday. Caused by that much higher solar wind speed. Geospace magnetic perturbations is next. Going to look at the poles first and then the equatorial plane. And if you'd like to know how the data is gathered, this page will be in the links underneath the video in the description. And this will show you how this data is amassed and the way the model's created. It's based on quite a few measurements. And again, we do see two poles in the north and a migrating south pole toward West Australia. And we are outdated here on the planets today. Let's refresh that. There's your planet locations. There's where they'll be in a week. You should be able to see Jupiter, especially if you wake before it's light. Look to the ecliptic. Look to the ecliptic. There was some more flaring, I believe. Sunspot 2738, which was previously known as Sunspot 2736, is making its way back around for a third run. So, see if we should get some images of that C-class flare that popped off. A likely C-class flare will be one of those ones that you see there popping off to the left. Keep in mind the Earth is facing this way. So this is the interplanetary magnetic field on which you reside. And again, that sunspot making its way around for the third time. It was originally 2736, then 2738. And if it doesn't simmer down, it's going to be named again. I think 2740. It's a very persistent sunspot. And let's move on to the Soho Core 2. My refresh button is, oh, there we go. All right. That's cool. That works. There's the date stamps. You're going to see some flaring here. And there is a halo. It looks similarly to an Earth-facing one. All indications are that that went the opposite direction. And then you see a couple more flares there. Just heed the date stamps. This is a 5 days worth of SOHO data. And this satellite's located between the Earth and the Sun. Next, I would invite you to inthesky.org if you want to see some star charts. Like I said, we've got Jupiter and Saturn up there. And let's not talk about it anymore because I'm trying to keep this one as short as possible. We're skipping cosmic rays, skipping zooniverse.org, although you should go check it out, the Galaxy Zoo Project. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Facebook.com, Twitter.com, both /smAsho. Also on Instagram, if you want to see the more behind the scenes stuff, such as my post-ride maneuvers. Here's what happened yesterday after the bike ride.
Oh man, there's nothing better after a long solo bike ride in the wind than a nice bottle of Horseshoe brand peach hot sauce.
Also follow us on minds.com, minds.com/mashomash, where you won't get censored or have yourself shadow banned or anything like that. Also watch our video from last night about the paranormal. The last video on our page, youtube.com/smashomash. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Also, there's a SoundCloud page in the description. There's a SoundClick page in the description. And here's a track, Unified Theory 3. Let's get one. Anyway, that track available for 99 cents. Where did it go? Where did it go, folks? It vanished. It's the hiding window. There it is. All right, we are almost through this. We are going to blast through the final section so that we can get out of here, as I got to go do more applied science. I'm going to refresh USGS. So another Mideast quake here in Afghanistan, the 4.4, 4.6 is the North Atlantic Ridge. Quite close to the Caribbean there. 4.7 at Bristol Island, South Sandwich Islands. We've been seeing an uptick there. Tonga with a 5.0. Fiji with a deep quake there, 518.7 kilometers at a 4.3 magnitude. Pretty large quake there for Alaska, 4.1. Another quake at the Kiska volcano. Anybody know about activity at the Kiska volcano? Leave a comment. 4.2 of Russia. The 4.9 of Papua New Guinea. 4.1 of Puerto Rico. 4.9 at Papua New Guinea and a 4.7 at China. So no major quakes. Let's look at volcanoes. Oh, wait. This just in. Let's look at pressure maps. We got some serious lows off of Australia there. Kind of persistent. We got a low east of India. Let's let that one play. It's going to make landfall. Here's one in between Kamchatka and Japan. And some low pressure hitting South America, it looks like. So we had a downtick in earthquakes there. Heads up if you're in an earthquake prone area. Earthquake downtick. And stop doing that, Windy. Oh my gosh, I'm going to shut you down. All right. Volcano rundown. Here's Dacono. 5,000 foot plume there. Revenador continues. Sabancaya with a 24,000 foot plume. Try not to play beanbags at Sabancaya. You will lose your beanbags. Don't be a ball bag. Don't play beanbags at Sabancaya. Let's open up the chat. As we have skipped the "that's what she said" portion of today's live stream. The word bulge was not used, as well as the word moist. So, and now unfortunately we have to put an editor's note stating that the word bulge and moist were each used twice. And there is nobody here but smAsho staff. And thanks for joining, smAsho staff. Also, we've got Planchon Peteroa with weak emissions of steam. So that's interesting. That sometimes portends an explosion. So eyes on Planchon Peteroa today in central Chile and Argentina. And Nevados de Chilean with a little uptick there with a 10,000 foot plume, 11,000 foot plume. We did do a little AccuWeather and NASA Goes weather warning thing last night, and Texas is still getting hit. Shout out Texas. What is up with that, Texas? Also, Missouri getting some heavy storms. Let's move on and look at the water vapor so we can get out of here. Man, oh man. Texas getting crushed again with a major, major convergence here. Storm actually moving nearly south. So heads up, Texas. That's going to be an unexpected storm path. Geez, that thing is... Check that out, folks. That is one hell of a convergence. Yowzers. This isn't going to show us anything because this is the visible. So let's move on to lightning maps, because I'm sure there's quite a bit. So Missouri getting hit a bit there. College Station in Huntsville. Get ready, Texans. The storm is moving south. It's going to start to head to the east, I'd imagine. Your storm track is going to look like this. So, super volatile storms there. Also, some of the places that got hit last night, I think, are getting hit again. These areas right here, like Altus. Hope everybody is all right. Those storms last night were just as nasty as these today. Check out the National Weather Service page here, just to give you a quick idea of where the nationwide delays are. Delays in things like planting crops. And we still see some winter weather advisories here, as well as some freeze warnings. Places like Nebraska, as well as Utah and Colorado. And more flood advisories, flood statements, flash flood watches. So there's your warnings. Global warming update. Oh my gosh, Greenland is melting. It's melting. There are only 5 meters of snow left there. Only 5 meters. Oh my gosh. Global warming. The oceans are going to evaporate tomorrow if we don't stop with the CO2 emissions, folks. I'd like to make another global warming update, citing the Wikipedia article about garbage in, garbage out, which is essentially computer jargon, meaning if you make a model of how something will work and you use garbage data, you'll get garbage results. In the late 80s, we were told by the mid 90s, Florida would be 2/3 underwater. And that snow would be a thing of the past worldwide. So since it's not, let's move on here because, again, trying to have some condensed matter here. You don't want to condense too much nonsense. Nine hours and 15 minutes on the colored magnetogram. I could have sworn I saw some reverse polarity plages yesterday, so let's see what's up. All right, no comment on the reverse polarity plages. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure if Solon.info will have this, but those are high equatorial reverse polarity plages, as this is the green pole. So anyway, I don't know why I opened that. That was unintentional. Wow, nobody joined us this morning. Are you surprised? Are we shadow banned? Shout out to all those people that watched this video long after it was live streamed. Anyway, there's a colorized magnetogram. We're also going to look at 171 angstroms as sunspot 2736/sunspot 2738 is rising again for the third time. So this is about 9 hours of activity, and we're going to see some big loops here as this thing has been putting out some C-class flares. And with that, I bid you farewell. Thanks for watching. Please support the channel in any way you can, such as visiting the links in the description, donating, pressing like, subscribe, etc. And remember, when you're staring at the sun, don't drink. And if you drink, stare at the sun anyway. Just don't drive. And may the solar wind be at your back and the atherosclerosis absent from your veins.